Hi guys, welcome to our videos. We're gonna fix this mirror trimmer, so press this so it will get loud. It's your turn.
Thanks, Anne. Hi everyone, welcome back to our small engine repair tutorial. Today we have this Ryobi trimmer. It's an RLT26CDSN, and the problem is yes, and it won't start. And we'll see what's the problem. We'll test the ignition, and I think the problem is the carburetor. So I believe that we have to rebuild the carburetor, and we'll get started.
Let's get started.
Okay, to remove the carburetor, remove the air filter cover. Just squeeze the two tabs. And using the T20 Torx, remove the two screws that mount the carburetor. Take off the screws. Now remove the intake fuel line from the fuel filter line, and also the return fuel line, which is connected to the primer pump. Remove the throttle cable by pushing this part. You can undo the throttle cable, and then using the spanner, just undo this part here, and then just undo the bolt. So that's the old carburetor. Okay, to rebuild the carburetor, we place all the components into this container. So remove the 4 screws on the metering side. Then place all the parts into the container. The metering cover. This is the metering assembly. So remove the old that's really stiff and hardened. There's a metering diaphragm. Just remove the old diaphragm. So it's best to separate the metering diaphragm so you can easily compare this one with your new kit. So, and also the old gasket, the metering gasket. So we have all the small parts. So there's a metering lever. We need to remove the metering lever as well. You have to hold the metering lever while undoing the screw that holds the metering pin, because there's a spring, metering spring inside behind it, so you don't lose that. Gradually remove that, release, take the metering lever, and you have this the metering pin, you have the spring and the needle valve. So with the kit, then we have the kit. It's not really the same kit for this particular carburetor, but we'll try to compare, and we have to do a slight modification on the fuel pump gasket because it's slightly different. So with the right kit for this particular carburetor, I will update the description for when we have the right kit. So also remove the mesh. Careful not to damage the mesh. Okay, so pretty much dismantled. So this is ready for cleaning. So with the fuel pump, we have this old manifold gasket. It's slightly worn out already, damaged on the side. So if you don't have the manifold gasket, then you have to be careful taking off the old manifold gasket so you can still reuse it. As long as there's no major damage on the gasket, this is not really critical for sealing the air through the venturi. As long as there's no major damage on the gasket, so you can still reuse this one, or you can use a new one. So we have to take the fuel pump diaphragm. You can replace this one, or it's up to you if you wanna still reuse the old fuel pump diaphragm. So, and also the fuel pump gasket, this is the one that I'm talking about, that we need to modify the fuel pump gasket, because the replacement part that we have only has a very tiny hole in the middle here. So using the hole puncher, we make a bigger hole, so we don't have to really make exactly the same cutting, but at least we have a bigger round hole in the middle. So we'll do that later. So when removing the old gasket, try to use a blade, or careful not to leave too much, because this gasket is already stick into the body of the carburetor. So try not to leave too much gasket on the carburetor, so to minimize cleaning. So just scrape around the gasket so we can minimize some of the small gasket parts that stick into the body of the carburetor. So just a little bit careful. We need to replace this gasket. I don't advise to use the old gasket, because it's already compressed, no matter how good the gasket is or how easy to remove the gasket, because once it's compressed, you can't compress it anymore. So this is more critical in sealing the fuel or the vacuum inside the fuel pump. We have to take this screw out. Okay, just remove that middle part there. Just separate the rotary valve, and you have to clean this one, clean the rotary valve. So that's pretty much it. We just separate all the gasket, because we don't need to clean this part here. So using a shear light, so I found this solvent is ideal for cleaning small parts. It's not too strong, and also it's not too weak for cleaning the parts. So you can use an old or new toothbrush to clean all the parts. So you have this clean container for all the clean parts. So we just clean this one later. So we just clean this one first. So with this, some of the gasket that stick into that pump or metering side part, we just clean this one with the wire brush. And that's pretty much it. And this is the check valve, the one on the middle here. So you have to make sure that this check valve is working properly. So just apply the carburetor cleaner through this the center of the check valve, and make sure that you have this it's coming out on the other side. Yeah, and if you apply from this side, from the opposite side, that should block the cleaner from going back to the metering side. So that's good. See, that's not going through, so that's good. So also clean the seat, the needle bulb seat. And yes, just clean the rest of the parts. Okay, to rebuild the carby now, and we use this kit, but as I said, we don't have the right kit for this one, so we'll try and see if we can get this kit to fit on the. Okay, first is we have to install the rotary valve. So this is to work it out which position, either that one or this one. So to work it out is the throttle, this is going towards the air filter, this is towards the engine, and the throttle is coming from this side here, this side. So it has to be placed like this. Also the plate and screws. So first is you have to do it by hand, just to make sure that it doesn't cross thread. So before you can use a power tool. And you have to do it by hand again, just to have a feel how tight it is. So we have the fuel pump gasket here, and we have this replacement kit. It's not exactly the same, but we will see if we can use this one. This is the closest one we can get. Place all the parts here. Okay, this is the old the fuel pump gasket, and this is the replacement fuel pump gasket, and you can see the difference that one is a smaller hole and the other one is big. So what we can do is we have to modify this one using a hole puncher. We have to make a bigger hole on the middle and make sure that pretty much centered into that hole, and rotate the gasket a little bit. So yeah, so we have that hole in the gasket, and we'll check the rest of the parts if they are the same. So the fuel pump diaphragm, we have the old fuel pump diaphragm, and the one on the left is the fiber cloth fuel pump diaphragm. They're pretty much the same. So the metering diaphragm is pretty much the same. And make sure that the height of the, what do you call this, rivet, has to be the same height. This part here. Check the metering gasket. Same metering gasket. That's the metering spring, and this is the new metering spring. So, but anyway, we will use the original spring, original mesh, and only the gasket and diaphragm that we're going to replace. We have to assemble the metering lever here. So this is the metering lever. Just place the metering pin so that metering lever, and the needle valve. Just hook the needle valve on the tip, or lower into the seat and into the spring, and hold it and place the screw. For adjusting the height of the metering lever, I use the Wahlberg gauge and use a WT marking on WT, which is the middle one here. We just check make sure that this tip is just touch the end of the metering lever. And this is right there, and this is a perfect perfect alignment. Okay, just place the mesh. You can use a flat screw, maybe the screw that we can use a screw, but this is way too small. Just push this one in along the side, not to push too much. Okay, now we have this fuel pump diaphragm, then the fuel pump gasket, then the assembly, the fuel pump metering assembly, the metering diaphragm, the gasket first before the metering diaphragm. So make sure this part here is facing towards the inside. Then the cover. Then place all the screws. So initially do it manually to avoid any cross thread before using a power tool. Okay, then do it manually. Make sure that it's tight. Across, side, across, side, then across, side, then across. Then the last part is we have to place the mixture screw. So this is a Ryobi Pac-Man type mixer screw. So for me to start with the adjustment, I have to fully tie it clockwise, then rotate it maybe 2 turns. So if to start this one and to install this one and start the engine, if the engine doesn't run straight away, we have to adjust this one, and also to adjust the mixer screw for the idle. This is the idle, and this is the idle screw, and this is for the low, and this is for the high. So we adjust that one, and that's it. Let's install the carburetor into the engine. Okay, to install the carby, first is install the throttle cable. So place the throttle cable, just move the throttle there, and place the end of the throttle cable, and just use a screwdriver to rotate this one a little bit to put it in. Adjust the tension for the throttle by adjusting this part here. To get the right tension, just lock the throttle. Now insert the fuel line into the return nozzle of the carburetor first. And then the retaining clip, and also the intake fuel line from the fuel filter into the intake nozzle of the carburetor. We can place all the screws back. So just insert the screw so we can place this manifold gasket. So just insert into the manifold. So just screw it back. So first, so tighten it properly with using manually. So make sure that the fuel line doesn't bend or doesn't kink. So that's pretty much done. The air filter back and the air filter cover. Okay, that's completed, and we try to test the engine and tune the carburetor. Okay, and we'll see if we can prime the fuel. Yep, it's coming through. Placed on position. This one on the choke. So you can see that it won't run straight away, so we have to adjust to allow more fuel. I'm afraid that there's not much compression for this one, so we'll check the compression. Okay, we'll check the compression for this one. Okay. Oh dear, very low, very low. So to get the engine running, the compression should be above 90 psi, between 90 to 150 psi. Below 90 would be really difficult to start the engine. I should check the compression first before rebuilding the carby, but anyway, the good thing is I have show you how to rebuild the carby and how to replace the carby, because one of my video which I tested compression first and I found that there is no compression, so I didn't proceed in rebuilding the carby. So if you have similar engine or similar unit, it doesn't really help for you to rebuild the carby. So anyway, in this way I'm able to show you how to rebuild the carby even though the compression is very low. But unfortunately we won't be able to get this engine running even though we replace the carby or we rebuild the carby. So we'll test compression again once more. Oh dear, that's it. So unfortunately this engine, we can't get this one to work. Unfortunately the compression is only around 80-70 psi. So maybe in the future I will do some video tutorial. I'll show you how to change the piston ring of this particular engine. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching.
Hi guys, thanks for watching our video. Subscribe this video and subscribe the love TikToks and subscribe the ding bell and just click the left comments over there. YouTube.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching our video tutorial for today. I hope you enjoy and found it useful. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more videos, upcoming videos, and we will do more videos in the future. And if you have any questions, leave a comments. And thanks for watching and see you next time. Say bye bye.
See you next time. Bye bye. See you later.